Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, this is one of the most commonly asked questions these days. In fact, the entire reason why I'm making this video is because right now, just about every single stream, it is a question that I have to answer multiple times per stream, and there is no quick, straightforward answer to it, especially if you want to expand on it and explain it properly. So, a lot of people are in similar type situation where I painstakingly saved 42k units. Some bought, most grinded for, or all of them grinded for. Can likely max one event. Looking back last year, Omega Days netted 1 rank 3, and most of the champs did 3. July offers had Weapon X, 2 selectors, 2 rank 3, rank 3, twice rank 3 gems, so twice the rank ups, basically. Yeah, this year Hardfire is lit, and I mean Fury, likely duped, Fam and Tiger are worth the price admission alone. July offers will likely have 2-3 Titan Nexuses, 2024 selector, 2-3 rank 4 gems or materials for them, and that is effectively the story here. Which of these offers to max out? And number one, we need to understand that this is all assumption because we can't see future. July 4th might be busted, but reasonably thinking, I expect July 4th to have more rank up materials and also general means of champion acquisition in form of Titan crystals, perhaps Titan Nexuses, perhaps 7-star crystals, probably more 6 stones, or at the very least the generic 6 stones. So on the surface of it, it would kind of seem like the smarter investment, right? And it is for kind of more casual players. I think for the players that are in the lower Valiant spectrum, for instance. For the players who are not trying to be as competitive, I do think July 4th will ultimately net you more in terms of resources and potential champion acquisition, as in like amount of 7-star crystals and such. However, and here comes kind of the big differentiating thing, I do think Heart of the Fire sale is more significant and more important for higher-end players, for competitive players, for the players who plan on grinding the Battlegrounds, Alliance Wars, and stuff like that. And I reached that conclusion kind of reflecting on the MCOC thus far. So the first thing is, rank up materials are always welcome, and you always want as many of them. It always sucks going up against somebody who has, more rank 4s and whatnot. But the truth of the matter is that number one, all of that has expiration date. As in, we always chase the rank up materials. They always get cheaper. The things that people initially pay thousands of dollars for in the banquet and, significant amounts, let's say 5 Odins for the very first rank 4s, for example, or for the very first rank 3s, eventually we're all getting fairly in large amounts for free or for significantly less cost investment to that. So by the end of the rank cycle, it's not that big of a deal. That is to explain, for instance, when I'm going up against, Yusafa, one of the biggest accounts in the world. I genuinely don't care about the fact that he probably has like 250 rank 3s. I care about which rank 3s he has. Because he's going to have the champions that I'm missing. Like, he can't use 250 rank 3s, against me in a Battlegrounds match or an Alliance War match on the defense. And the truth of the matter is, not all of them are needed. You don't really use 200 plus champions in kind of like your general gameplay. Video. At this point, I think I have, rank 3, 7 stars, let's check out. 46 only. I could do a bunch more, but I could have definitely focused on obtaining more. All that said, for most part, like in Battlegrounds, vast majority of my deck, if not entirety of it, is already the rank 3s. And that will certainly be the case soon, as we are getting the rank 4s. So, all of that build-up effectively is just not particularly significant. Once the rank 4s are going to come and become quote-unquote the new norm. So, next year, at some point, nobody's going to care about how many rank 3s you have at all if rank 4 is going to be the new norm. And then the rank 5s will come. And it's all going to rinse and repeat. So effectively, the chase and the race and acquisition of the, either the highest rank level on a champion, it always resets every year. So even if you're behind in one of the years, or even if you have less than somebody else, ultimately, as the game progresses, it kind of matters less and less. And again, as a final point here is, many of you probably didn't play when the 5 stars were at the highest rarity peak, right? Right now, nobody, absolutely nobody here cares how many rank 5 stars I have. I have like 76. But 60 of them I probably ranked up when they were at the highest peak progression level. Now, that's absolutely irrelevant. Just like right now, nobody, is really bothered by the amount of 7-star rank 2s that we have. It's just not that big of a deal. It's always the highest rank progression level that matters for a year until the next one comes out. The one thing that does have much more longevity, though, is the champions themselves. Like, if you do not have the champion, then there's not much you can do about it, because in this game, targeting specific champions is incredibly hard, and especially exclusive champions. Here is the example of the last year's Omega Days event. And keep in mind, the Omega Days champions aren't necessarily absolute must-haves, like many would consider Tigra, Nick Fury, and Fam to be. But still, champions either for prestige rank ups like Quicksilver or, long shot for many of the metas. Just about never got the chance to acquire them again for an entire year, and even now, they're made available in one shape, way, or form, it still could be another year or two until you actually pull those champions, right? And that has always been one of those big issues. For instance, even if you picture a Battlegrounds match, and let's say somebody has double the amount of rank 4s that I have, but I have all of the exact same champions, I'd still have a reasonably good chance of winning that match. Because it's about matchups themselves, and whether I have counters, whether I have the champions that, do the fights that I need them to do, rather than whether all of them are at max rank. Yeah, there will be a difference a couple of seconds, but if you just don't have a counter to, let's say, Serpent, you lose. You do have a Serpent counter, let's say, in Spiral. In most cases, whether that Spiral is rank 4 or rank 3, will not be the difference maker. There will obviously be the handful of times where it is, where you quite literally put down your rank 3 Serpent and your opponent has a rank 4 Spiral, and where I face rank 4 Serpent with a rank 3 Spiral, where I'm in inherent disadvantage. And most of the time, I'll probably lose that. But that does not happen all that often to begin with. And you can still win that, because all it takes is for one person to make a slight mistake and, take a hit, or for AI not throw a special attack, for you to offset that rank difference. So to me, it feels like it is significantly less important whether you have equal amount of rank 4s and whether you have the maximum amount of possible champions at rank 4 than it is whether you have the champion, period, or whether you have the champion in usable form. For instance, one of the biggest issues I have had is that some of the most used champions that I'm after are unduped, and that has been, something that prevents me from ranking them up. For instance, Dazzler. Dazzler desperately needs a dupe. Not necessarily whether the Dazzler is rank 3 or 4, and she would be rank 3 if she was duped, because then she's significantly better and does more matchups. Same to Count Nefaria, and same to a whole bunch of different champions, like, Prowlers and whatnot. So, the most important thing, in my opinion, in competitive settings, is to have the required tools to do the job, not having those tools at the highest possible peak TP top progression level. So therefore, I personally think that for competitive players, it is much more important, for instance, to get Tigra, Fam, and Nick Fury, and keep them at rank 3 level, and sacrifice a potential rank 4. And I think that will be more valuable than having an extra rank 4. Because otherwise, you know, in Battlegrounds, for instance, you'll often end up banning those champions every match, right? But you can only ban so many champions, and then you're not going to be able to ban the champions that are, you know, equally big or bigger problems in specific metas. Or then you're just going to continuously keep getting wrecked by those specific champions if you do not have good enough answers to them. Or, you know, you're going to miss them in some other piece of content. And again, I'd much rather do, let's say, Necropolis with a rank 2 champion that's great for Necropolis, opposed to a rank 3 champion that just isn't. And it might not necessarily be the most perfect example, but you guys kind of get the point. So I'm much more willing to concede the TP top rank up that at the moment still costs premium compared to what it will cost in 6 months, 7 months time. And I'd much rather have the tools, the champions, you know, that do make core of this game and that are the most current and relevant champions in the game. So, I think that for competitive players, for players who do play Battlegrounds a lot and do focus on war, Heart of Fire Sale is potentially more important than July 4th if you have to pick one or the other. I think for more middle of the pack and more casual players, it is more wise to just get more rank up materials, rank up more champions, try and kind of like even out the roster gap a bit further and push as much as you can. And then eventually, probably somehow, some way, trying to acquire those champions. You know, for instance, Omega Days champions, we all kind of expect them to be entering the game, you know, sometime within the year. And eventually, you can, if you can still be playing the game, you can probably acquire them. But it will more than likely be a significant amount of time. And obviously, then there's the whole Dark Phoenix thing. Because who knows when we're going to get a chance to get her again. And if she's going to be, you know, a significant problem for a foreseeable future, you'd be utterly pissed off if you have to waste a ban on her every Battlegrounds match, or if you continuously get wrecked by her every Battlegrounds match. So, I personally think that, yeah, competitive players, it is Heart of the Fire Sale that is arguably the more important one. Let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have already